What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Killer Cam Friend coming back at you with my Madden 24 video. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different on the channel. If you guys know me, you know I'm a huge Madden Ultimate Team guy. But we're going to hop into franchise mode for a little bit and I'm going to show you guys something super cool. So if you guys are playing offline franchise mode, just having a little bit of fun while you're at home, you don't play Madden super seriously, or you go to lab, you just want to have a little bit of fun with franchise mode with some creative players. Franchise mode's been around for years. You guys know exactly what it is. Or if you guys play in a CFM and you want to get better draft picks for your next draft, I'm going to show you guys something super glitchy right here. So we picked the Bears, and I am going to show you guys how to glitch the draft in Madden 24 franchise mode. And this works the first year of every single franchise. So this is something you guys want to pay attention to because you will be able to stockpile draft picks this way and be able to completely rebuild your team. Is it realistic? No. But that's not what we're going for right now. We're trying to glitch and get the best draft picks that we possibly can. If you're a realistic guy, maybe this video is not for you, but I'm going to show you guys how to move up in the draft super easily without having to do too much. So basically what we do here is, we're the Bears. You see we have the 1 and the 9 pick. And the way this works is it goes in alphabetical order. So after week 1, when you simulate, basically it'll go in alphabetical order and how the draft picks are ordered. So the Bengals are going to have the 1 pick. The Bills are going to have the 2 pick. The Broncos are going to have the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Trust me on that. I am 100% sure this is how it works. You saw that I have the 1 and the 9 pick. I think it's going to be the 20 and the 32 pick once I simulate. It doesn't matter what happens each week in the franchise. You can win, you can lose week 1. It doesn't matter. When we simulate to week 2, you guys are going to see that we are going to have the same draft picks every single year. I'm going to load up a different franchise and I'm going to show you guys how to take advantage of this. So we had the 1 and the 9 pick. Now we have the 20 and the 31 pick, because that's what it is. So obviously our draft picks aren't as valuable. The Bengals are going to have the 1 pick. The Bills have the 2 pick. The Broncos the 3. The Browns don't have the 4 pick because the Texans have the Browns pick. And then the Buccaneers 5, Cardinals 6, straight down the line. You guys can see that's obviously what it is. The second round picks don't move the same way that the first round picks do. I don't know why that's the case, but in this year's game, this is exactly how it is. You can see straight down the line, 1 through 32. The 49ers is a little bit different. I don't know why it's like that. Probably because their number, they have a number instead of a name, so technically in alphabetical order, they're at the end of the list. But it's like this every single year. And week 2 of each franchise, each one of these teams are going to have these exact draft picks. I promise you, it doesn't matter what happens each year, it's going to be exactly the same. I'm going to show you guys how we can take advantage of this. So we'll go ahead and we're going to quit this franchise. I'm going to delete it and I'm going to start a new one. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what you can do to take advantage of this. Alright, so we started a new franchise, and this time we were the San Francisco 49ers. I wanted to switch teams just for consistency's sake. I didn't want you guys to be like, it's only when you pick the Bears, or only when you pick the blah blah blah, because I promise it's not. This happens every single time. And I'm not a huge franchise guy, but this is something that I've noticed, and you can seriously take advantage of this. So, we have the 49ers right here, and we have the 30 pick in the draft. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to move down here to the Bengals, and we're going to trade for the 29 pick in the draft. It doesn't really matter what you put up there. Add a 7th round pick in, for sure. And you can do the same thing with the Bears. Not the Bears, excuse me. The Bills. You can trade for the Bills pick too. We know that the Bengals and the Bears are going to have the 1 and 2 picks in this year's draft when week 2 hits. So when week 2 hits, for whatever reason, franchise mode thinks that alphabetically is exactly how the draft order is going to go. So we can trade somebody like, maybe an aging veteran like Javon Hargrave, and we can go down here to the Bills and we can trade him for a number 1 overall pick. I don't know exactly what we're going to have to do to get this trade to work, but we'll make it work. And you guys are going to see that we're going to have the 1 and 2 picks in this year's draft. Guaranteed you're going to have the 1 and 2 picks. Might have to throw in a second right here. Almost move the needle. Obviously, you guys are going to have to tweak like what you trade for who. That's not up to me. That's up to you guys. But I'm showing you guys how to stockpile picks. So we have the Bengals and the Bills pick. So we're going to go ahead and simulate to the next week. And we're going to go to week 2. And you guys are going to notice that those 29 and 27 picks respectively, maybe 20, it was like 28 and 29, whatever. Those picks are now going to be considered the 1 and 2 picks. Because the Bengals and the Bills are the first and second team in alphabetical order after the Bears. I don't know why it doesn't start with the Bears. The Bears realistically should be 1, then the Bengals 2, and then the Bills. But it's the same every single year. You guys are going to have to trust me on that. They just go straight down the line alphabetically. You guys can see that. Bada boom, bada bing. And basically how we can take advantage of this is we know the Bears have the 20 and the 31 pick now, according to Madden after week 1, or after week 1 going into week 2. So we can trade the 2 pick for both of those picks. And now instead of the Bills pick, we're going to have the Bears and the Panthers pick, which obviously are a lot more valuable because they're worse teams. So if you guys know this ahead of time, you know exactly what pick is going to be considered what pick after week 1. And there's a lot you can do. The thing is that you have to do this all in week 2, because if you don't do it in week 2, the picks are going to change respectively back to the standings. So we have the 1 pick now. We're going to go ahead and trade that 1 pick. We can go over here to the Cardinals, who obviously have the Texans and the Cardinals pick this year, and we can try to trade for that. It's not going to be enough, so we can add in maybe a third, maybe 2/3, something like that. See if we can get the needle to move a little bit. It doesn't really matter what you trade for what. We'll make it 3/3, see if that'll work. Almost there. We'll add in a couple 4th-round picks or something like that. But you can project the draft order in week 2, which is basically what I'm trying to show you guys here. And from there, we can manipulate the draft, because picks from really good teams are going to be considered way more valuable in week 2 than they will be in the actual draft. Specifically, the Bills, Bengals, the Chiefs are another one of those teams that are super high up in alphabetical order. I think they have the 8th pick, but obviously they have the 32nd pick in this last year's draft. So it's all glitched. I don't know why it's like this in week 2 every time, but you guys can use this to seriously manipulate the draft board. So we have 6, 20, 28, and 31. I'm going to show you guys just a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and obviously this isn't something that you want to do, but we're going to go ahead and trade for a couple other teams' picks. Maybe the Rams. You want their first 3 picks and 1 next year for Fred Warner or something like that. And they're going to do that. Rams obviously aren't a great team. They had the number 4 pick last year, something like that. And we can trade whoever we want for these picks. So I'm not just butchering the Niners, I promise. I'm only doing this to prove a point. We'll go ahead and trade Javarius Ward right here, somebody that, a really good player. And we can go ahead and get the Titans pick. 1 and 2. And they're going to do that in a heartbeat. So we're going to go ahead and simulate to the draft for next season, and we're going to see what picks we end up with. All right, so we simulated here to the draft, and we're going to go ahead and start the draft. We were the 49ers. We made the playoffs. We traded for all these picks from really bad teams, and you see here that right off the bat, we have the 1, 2, and 3 pick in this year's draft. We turned a couple depth players. Obviously, we traded Fred Warner and Javarius Ward. That's not something you have to do in your franchise mode. You guys can make picks work by doing whatever. But I don't know if I did a great job explaining this. Hopefully, my actions speak louder than the words. But you guys can see how you can turn almost nothing into 3 of the top 3 picks in the 2024 NFL draft just by knowing how the draft order is going to go in week 2 and using that to your advantage. So I hope this helped, guys. Hope this helps you have a little bit more fun in your franchise mode. From there, what you can do is trade away these picks, and you guys can get 3 first and 3 seconds from whoever next year, or you can take the best player in the draft. Pretty much every team's offering a whole lot right here. They're offering 3 first rounds, including the number 14 pick. You can do a whole lot with this. You guys can build up a ton of draft capital this way. So we'll go ahead and accept that. And then you can do that again with the 2nd and 3rd pick. And in next year's draft, you can have 9, 10 first-round picks just from trading for the Bengals, the Bills, and maybe the Chiefs or the Cowboys picks in week 2 of year 1 of your franchise. So I hope this helps you guys have a little bit more fun, or help you gain a leg up on your competition and your CFMs. Hopefully they're smart enough to not to actually see how this works, but maybe they're not. And if they're not, this should go a long way to helping you win your leagues. But as always, it's your boy Killer Cam Fran. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.